So we're back with Urek Mazino's spinoff chapter 14. And guys, we got a lot to talk about. In this chapter, we see that Urek fights the queen of the dolphins, right? And I ain't gonna lie, he's giving her belt to ass. They had the rankers all shook because like they was afraid of that. And the thing is, Urek was gonna straight up just kill the queen of the dolphins. But if it wasn't for Don John explaining to him like, yo, if you kill her, it's gonna fuck everything up, all right? The queen is basically the source for everybody to get their food. So if you kill the queen, all the other creatures in this ecosystem aren't good at hunting, so they won't be able to get food for their nourishment and for whatever their populations. Because whenever the queen eats, everybody else eats around her, basically causing everything to go extinct. And we don't want that happening in the tower, do we? No. So Urek, being the cordial guy that he is, tells the queen, you know what, all right, bet. I'm the strongest one here. How about you just go away, all right? We don't need you in this area anymore. And guess what? The queen, obliges and just dips out. And we find out that the queen only leaves unless the opponent that she is facing, she considers to be her equal or superior to her. So that means our boy Urek is the apex predator in the entire territory, putting all the other rankers on notice. Even though this was like a cool little part of the chapter, this wasn't even the best part if we're going to keep it honest. Right towards the end is where everything starts to get really creepy and wicked. We start getting some lore that I was not expecting SIU to drop on us. And this lore kind of shakes up the game if we're going to be honest. So after that, we get transported to this new spot. And we are meeting some new characters that we haven't seen in the game so far. We meet this shorty. She kind of bad. I have to go find her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But they're also talking about one of their partners who I think happens to be a ranker as well. And he's like infiltrating the testing area. But, they're not even really worried about, bro. They're just letting him do his own thing. Which I think was that blonde hair dude that we saw a couple chapters ago that was on the lookout for Phantominium, I would assume. And they were like, well, that's a little too bad. Rahab's going to have a headache. So I'm like, okay, my interest is piqued. And then we meet this new shorty, right? And she just says, let him do whatever he wants. Who would notice an unlighted gem wandering around anyway? What the heck does an unlighted gem like that mean? The only gems I know are the luminous ones that Phantominium absorbed, all right? And this person, it just seems so nonchalant. She was like, even if someone finds out, it doesn't matter anymore. What? Why doesn't it matter anymore? Tell me why it doesn't matter. This is where we get this bomb of shelf of info coming in, right? Soon, when that flower is completely tinged with darkness, that person will awaken. And I don't know about y'all, but to me, that looks like one of those gems that Phantominium absorbed a long time ago, right? And then it says, who was once the brightest will now be the darkest? And apparently this name is Mago. The person by the will of Lord Phantominium will become the new queen of the tower. That's the end of the chapter. So you mean to tell me this man Phantominium not only had a secret faction throughout the tower, he was basically replanting defeated luminous ones and contaminating them and having them run amok in the tower? See, this entire time I was thinking Phantominium really wasn't, locked in with the tower. I just thought he came in that one time, took out a bunch of high royal guards and just stared at Zahard and just punked them and dipped. So now you telling me we got another person in here moving around in the darkness in the tower? And apparently we are going to have an Illuminous one as the queen of the tower? What happened to that queen? Huh? Because the queen ain't in the regular line series now. Did the queen get packed up? And I'm wondering if there was supposed to be a queen, if that sparked Zahard's, interest in having a bunch of princesses of Zahard. I wonder if that's what low-key sparked it. And I'm really curious because I'm like, if there were other Illuminous ones that they were trying to plant inside the tower, and they're basically should be equal strength, to Urek and they just roaming around, I feel like something happened, right? Something happened, because that's too many powerhouses in the tower and the balance would be completely thrown off. And I feel like when Phantominium went to see Zahard, I feel like he went there with some other, stipulations in mind. I feel like he was low-key trying to work with Zahard for real, because Phantominium is the axis, of this specific tower. This is his universe. So maybe he's just trying to plug the supposed king of his universe with some free game in hopes of, maybe potentially, having Zahard rise underneath him. Maybe he could hook him up with some axis powers if he, climbs to the top. But no, this character Mago, like, now if we really think about it, like, don't tell me that Zahard fumbled a luminous tier baddie, right? Because he couldn't have Arlene. Come on now. I can see Zahard fumbling like that. And I'm wondering if somehow oh my God, I think I'm onto something here, y'all. Lock in with me, right? Lock in. I bet you Zahard found out about these luminous ones, especially since Phantominium came in there, right? And I bet you somehow Zahard absorbed some of that power. Because why is Zahard's blood so much stronger compared to the other family heads? Come on now. Lock in with me, right? If Zahard's can take offspring of other family heads and give them his blood and just super amp them, that's the only sense that it makes to me. He had to get some type of buff or amp from somebody else, an outside god, for that to make sense. Because if they all were, friends in the outside, outside of the tower, they should all kind of be like relative in strength in terms of like their blood if they don't come from anybody special. So in theory, Zahard's blood shouldn't be more special than all the other family heads. Unless, he got something from somebody else. I think that's the theory, y'all. I think that's the theory. Zahard absorbed a part of the luminous one, basically giving himself an amp, making his blood that much stronger compared to everybody else. That has to be it. Because if you're really going to think about it, right now in the current series, Urek's scaling is way higher than all the other family heads, even at 30% now that with all the stuff we've seen. Zahard is supposed to be the big bad, the final bad. There has to be something that he did to make himself stronger, because this man's been in hiding for a long time developing other things, right? I bet you that's what happened. And that's why ain't none of the other family heads decided to go against him except for Gastang. What you guys think about this? What y'all think about the theory? What y'all think about the chapter? Let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time.